Continuing in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, halacha Yud Beis, Balayla Rishon, the first night of Hanukkah, there's 3 brachos, and the second night there's 2 brachos, and etc. All the other nights there are 2 brachos. The first night we have an additional bracha of Shechianu. If somebody did not light the menorah on any other nights, so his first night he says those 3 brachos. In the first night of Hanukkah, 3 brachos. What are they? He says lahadlik, sha'asa nisim and shechianu. Lahadlik is a bracha, lahadlik ner Hanukkah. It's our meaning to say lahadlik ner, not shel Hanukkah. There's the idea of sha'asa nisim laviseinu and shechianu. Mushar aleilos, and on the other nights, the rest of the nights, he does not bench shechianu. La'achar shebedech habrachos, madlik ner echod, Shulchan Aruch says you start lighting the first candle and you could already start singing Hanei Salalu while you're continuing to light the menorah. However, the Alter Rebbe adds, the Alter Rebbe says you should start singing Hanei Salalu after you already light all the candles. Ger Oimer Sha'asa Nisim La Yisrael. A ger doesn't say Sha'asa Nisim La V'seinu. He says Sha'asa Nisim La Yisrael to the Yidden. But if he says La V'seinu, he's still Yaitza the bracha, the mitzvah. Yimam La V'seinu Yaitza. Einin Rachman L'Tzlana, Einin which is Rachman L'Tzlana. Hashem should watch over all the Yidden. Is somebody which he lost a close relative that day. He's considered a Einin and he's potter in doing mitzvahs. So the question here is about making a bracha. If somebody else is there, in general, that's the din in any bracha that Einin makes on that day. He hears from somebody else and he just says, Amen. If there is nobody there, he doesn't make a bracha. Lacha Yud Gimel. Kaima Lon established Hadlaka Isa Mitzvah. What does it mean that the Hadlaka Isa Mitzvah? What does it mean? Peirush. Hadlaka hi mitzvah. B'shas hadlaka tzrich liyas haneides mukayim saruis v'shira aruya. The mitzvah is that it's lit, and the whole time that the candles are lit, that are the mitzvahs. So it's not that it be moved around. It's like muktzah. It has to stay where it is, and it has to be there for the right amount of time. After the time that already burned, whatever it may be, if you want to move it, it's something else. The time that it's there, hadlaka isa mitzvah, the lighting of it is the mitzvah. And he gives you a simple case. When you lit the menorah, if it wasn't in the right place, and then you moved it into the right place, even if it was a few tvachim short, it was 2 tvachim instead of 3 tvachim to the ground, it was 1 tefach, or it was higher than 10 tvachim and he lowered it. The main point here is that when he lit the menorah, it was in the right place. So even after that, if you moved it, it's fine. The main point he's stressing here is hadlaka. When you light the menorah, oisa mitzvah, that's the mitzvah. The same thing in Mishas hadlaka, when he was lighting the menorah, lo yahoya shemen kashir. Not only if it wasn't in the place and he moved it, after is he not yaitza. If he lit it, he didn't have enough oil in the menorah, and he decided to add oil after that. Also, it says over here, it is not good enough, even if he added oil. The same thing is and midam if he knows where he put it right now, the wind is going to come and blow it out. It wasn't makam the mitzvah, even if there was enough oil in the menorah. When he lights it a second time, he does not have to make a bracha. If he did do it right, however, it may be the neighbors they blew out, whatever it was, they stopped burning. He was already mekayim the mitzvah because the hadlaka b'shas ma'isa, that's the main idea of the mitzvah. Nevertheless, you have to go back and light the menorah, api the minig. And we are knowing to be machmer, not to use another another candle from the menorah. We use another different candle. That's what we call it a shamish, or a different light. Halacha Yudalid calls man tzvason the HANUKKAH Kitzur. Calls man the whole time is there is a mitzvah. What does it mean? Chatzisha, half an hour. Also, lanis me'oiden, you're not allowed to have hana from the light of the menorah. Therefore, negim lahaniach etzlan hashamish yadli boy kidei she'im yishtamish etzlan yishtamish l'oid hashamish. Another reason why you have the shamish is not only if you need a fire, but also if you need literally light. You're having hana from the shamish because it's next to menorah. It's there as a heker. It's something which you'll see. Oh, there's another candle in a different place for. If needed, this is it for light or whatever it may be. You should keep it a little above all the other neiros. Right here on top, there is a hole for the shamish, and in general, every menorah has that place. If it's in the middle, on the side, whatever it may be. It's not considered one of the candles that is being used for the menorah. It's not part of the candles. People shouldn't think the night's 2 nights. And it's the first night, but they see 2 candles, one's here, one's there. It has to be nicker. Could realize that it is a separate candle, not for the nights of Hanukkah. Halacha the Zayin, Ma'alikin neiros of Beis HaKnesses, we light the menorah in the Beis HaKnesses. Why? Mishum pursuing us all to be mefarsim. Then as the more public places, the better. And they do make a bracha in shul. Manichim et kaisel darim. Where do they put it? On the darim side of the shul. There's Zachas in the front, Maribus in the back, Tzafin, Darim. The Darim side. Madlikin bein minch lamayrev, and in shul, best time would be to do it between mincha and Ma'ariv. Main Adam Yetze B'neiros of Beis HaKnesses, a person is not Yetze, the mitzvah, with the candles of the shul. When he comes home, he is obligated to light the menorah again, or light the menorah. And if somebody is a Avil Rachman Latzlan, the first week of a passing of a close relative Rachman Latzlan, she says over here, Lo Yadli Walayla Rishin, basically, he is not allowed to light the menorah in the shul the first night, because it is forbidden for a Avil to say Shechiyanu. Avil ein loy loyma Shechiyanu but Tzibur, and he is not allowed to say the bracha of Shechiyanu public. However, in his house he does make a bracha of Shechiyanu. Lachat Zayin, Nashim, women Chayavis B'neiros Chanukah, they are obligated in the mechuyev lighting the menorah. If a girl wants to light the menorah, it's fine. Sha'av Hem Hayaboy Sayanes, they were in the nest, like you mentioned before, with Yechnan Kohen Gadol's daughter, Yehudis, which cut off the head of the Melech, then, and that's what brought to the nest. And if she wants, she could be mitzvah the whole household. She get a chinuch, gam kein chaya, when a little child, which comes to the age of chinuch, whether it's 6 or 9. It's makubal, they say, from, I believe it was the Rabbi Greenglass in Montreal, already by the age of 6 years old, I believe he said that the kids should be careful with long pants. So I believe the same thing would be with a menorah, or where the parents want to be mechanech the kids. That's the idea of Chanukah chinuch. Summa, a blind person, im yachal ishtamish ishtatif im acheret muta. A blind person, if he could give money to be mishtatif, to be a part of somebody else's menorah, that would be the best thing for him to do, to give somebody a part in it, for the oil, for the wicks, whatever it may be. And if he's married, his wife could do it. She does it for him. If he's in a certain day job, or I don't know, a special apartment where he lives, so he is allowed to get help from somebody else to light the menorah in his place, and of course watch and make sure everything is fine. Halacha Zayin, B'erev Shabbos, every year, 8 days of Hanukkah, because you have at least one Shabbos. Madlikin tchila ner Hanukkah, v'achagach ner Shabbos. First we do the menorah, and then we do the nearest candles of Shabbos. Ubelbad, she'iyah la'achar plaga mincha, which the earliest time would be from plaga mincha. That's at least it should be from plaga mincha, halfway between mincha gedola and mincha ktana. From then, at least then, is the earliest you could light the menorah. Spalin tchila mincha, and you should daven mincha first. Tzrichim shidin shemen kidei sheyidlig ad chatzi shal achar tzeisak echavim, and it should be able to be burnt at least a half an hour after tzeisak echavim. We did mention it before that the earliest is plaga mincha, which is an hour and 2 minutes in the winter days in general, 2 minutes and a half. Hour, 2 minutes and a half before tzeisak echavim. So you have to have another additional, besides that hour that it's going to go till tzeisak echavim, another 30 minutes after tzeisak echavim. So we said again, it's an hour, 32 minutes and a half, enough oil that it should burn that whole time. If not, have a lay brach levatala. It's brach levatala. So Erev Shabbos, you have to make sure there's enough oil. He's saying another thing. If he puts it next to the door, you have to be careful that the door shouldn't casually just take out the candles. Door, when you open and close, should not take out the menorah. Halacha chai, halacha yudches, b'motzei Shabbos, on motzei Shabbos, ma'avdilin v'achakach madlikin ner Hanukkah. Then we light the menorah. However, in Shul, the Beis HaKnesset says, first madlikim, then koydem vitin ra. In Shul, we do menorah before we say vitin l'cha. Ad kan halacha yudches.